Hi guys, welcome to PV Shifu. We are looking to install the Tiberius Arms direct ASA remote adapter, and I'm coming back to this only because with the original package, which was like this, it only came with three things. I mentioned this earlier, but I still tried to assemble it just to prove that it really was missing parts. So what was happening was the air was leaking out of the puncture nipple over here because it didn't come with the stopper. This is a solid piece that comes with that's supposed to come with the kit. Along with that is, since I had a T8.1, I had this nipple, but I still had to get a new one from Tiberius Arms anyways. After I put this in, it was leaking from the back, so I was actually missing another piece back here. So the two pieces that I was missing was this piece, which goes into the bolt, right? And this piece, which looks just like puncture pin, except it's solid. It doesn't have a hole in it. I'll show you that right now. As you can see, it doesn't have a hole in it. Looks just like the regular puncture pin, just solid piece. Comes with an O-ring. So the entire kit should consist of. I have two kits here, so I'm going to just separate them. It should come with a solid puncture pin replacement. This is the bolt back cap, and it should come with a hex back cap, two screws, right, and the actual back ASA. Now there is a O-ring that comes with this. I have it already in the gun, so it comes in the little package. It's a tiny O-ring. This goes in between the ASA and the actual back of the gun. So what you need to do, we're going to get to installing this right now. I already have this piece installed, so I won't be needing to install this, but I'm going to show you where it installs. It installs right here. You would just take a small wrench, just unscrew it. You can put some Loctite on it, just make sure to remember to put the O-ring over here that comes with it. So I have that installed. What I'm going to do now, you don't have to take apart the entire assembly, but you can. It just makes life a little bit easier because you have to reassemble the bolt and you have to push the bolt out to get this piece in. So right now we're going to take this piece out. Simple. Drop that aside, and you want to unscrew the bolt, and you want to push the bolt out. So this piece is getting replaced by this piece, right? And you'll notice that when you push the bolt out, there's an O-ring here that you can keep with this. Okay, so you want to push this out until the bolt comes loose. Just want to be very careful with it, not to cut your hand or anything. So it comes right out. This, if you haven't cleaned your gun yet, this is probably a very good time to just rinse it down, put some oil on it, lube it up. So you take this piece and you screw it in here. Simple. It has an O-ring on it, so you want to make sure that's a little bit tight. Hand tighten's okay. Nothing too drastic or dramatic. Once that's in, you want to drop your bolt back on. Stick it back in. And you want to push it in. Make sure it sits properly in here. Don't push it too far in. It should just go far enough where it'll just lock in place. Remember to pull the bolt forward. And then you want to put the trigger back on. Make sure all the O-rings are there. You have one O-ring here and one O-ring here. So you want to make sure those are on. Make sure you use the screw with the lock washer. Hand tighten. Now what you want to do is you want to put in the new back cap. Simple. New back cap's in. You see I have the new O-ring in there as well. At this time you can actually install this as well. So you want to make sure that the connection nipple is on the lower right hand corner if the gun is facing forward. So make sure it aligns there with the O-ring. And there's 2 screws you have to put here. There's 2 screws that came with the kit. One there and one there. Alright? So this screw, this one is actually a very odd touch. It's a 332 Allen key. Make sure those are tight. This one's slightly bigger. This one is, I'm sorry, this screw was a 764 Allen key, and this one is a 1/8. Not very, 764 is not very common in paintball. Alright, so that's it. That should work. Now we're going to install the grip frame and the trigger and everything else and air it up to see if it works. So now you want to make sure you get your trigger in. Make sure the spring comes outside the guard. Slip it right in. Make sure it sets a little bit to the side and then push it in. Now you want to put the trigger pin in. For some people this might be tough like myself, so I actually need something to push this in. Only because my little pin is a little rusty. But it gets better with every oiling. Alright, so that's in. You want to make sure you put your safety spring in. That just goes right in here. Sits right on top of this. You gotta make sure that this doesn't fall out. That goes right under there. It's probably the trickiest part of reassembly for this particular gun. And then you just want to clip it closed, and final things, put your screws back in. One here, one here. I have a front compensator, so I'm not going to put that screw in just yet. Put my barrel in first. Oh, don't forget the spring. Always insert it from the front. Pull it back. I forgot to mention that this particular kit was made for any Tiberius Arms T8.1 that's 2000 and over. So my serial number is actually 2307. So there is a different kit for models that are older than 2000. That's how they're separated. That's why you need your serial number when you order these kits. So now, install my compensator. Get my final screw in. And we need to air this up to see if it works. Being highly unprepared. Got my tank. Alright, so I have a really old remote coil. It only comes with, doesn't have a slide check, which is fine. So we'll stick that here. Stick my tank here. I have a different setup for this, but my setup doesn't allow me to just put it on one gun. So now, let's air it up. And it worked out like a charm. Now there are several reasons why you want to do this for your T8. One of the main reasons is because air is more consistent, and when you're firing limited rounds, you want to have consistency in your air so that your shots are just a little bit more accurate. So now we're going to try firing to see if it works. Works great. Look at that. Doesn't look bad either with the back block. You can't even tell. Alright. Alright guys. Yeah, so one of the major benefits of doing this to your gun is not only do you have more consistent air and you don't have to worry about 12 grams, is the biggest benefit is the fact that you will actually be shooting a lot more consistent because you're using air instead of CO2. Well, anyways, that concludes the installation of the remote air kit from Tiberius Arms. Little addendum to the T8.1 remote line adapter kit. I have my T9.1 here. Serial number is 960, and I installed the remote air kit on it because I don't like the 9.1's air kit anyways. What I did was I replaced the back cap. I didn't need to install this on the 9.1 because it already had it. I removed I had this 9.1 set up as a pistol, so I removed this piece, which is the seal for the airport over here. Also, like the T8.1, I removed the 12 gram puncture pin with the hole in it and replaced it with the solid one. So right now, all I have to do is air it up and see if it works. And this would be nice. A lot of people might ask why you're doing this, because I like this air kit better than the one that comes with the 9.1, especially in pistol form. So let's air it up, and I'm pretty sure it'll work, as it installed surprisingly similar to the 8.1, if not exactly the same. So I got my air tank, and let's see if it airs up. Keep all this stuff. And it works. Look, it locked up. And make sure it's tight, and we shall fire a few rounds. Works out good. I really like the fact that I can do this now, so I can have my dual air set up with the T9.1. I don't have to buy another 8.1 unless I really want the uniformity of the two guns. But this looks really good. Very happy with my two pistols now. I'm going to set them up side by side. And this is the 8.1 and this is the 9.1. You can tell obviously by the opening on the top of the gun. So they both work really well. So I have my dual pistol set up. I'm very happy. Thanks for watching, guys.